FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
A question about whether there might be a future novel that might feature principal characters who are not Chinese.
You know, there's a variant of that. Would you ever write a character who is a man? Mm-hmm. And then I would have to ask myself, you know, I can do it. Obviously I could do it, and I think I could do it well, but why would I? You know, you know, it's...
Very good question.
So I write for my reason. I'm not writing to prove anything to other people. I mean, I could become craven and say I want to write in a way that will appeal to more people and I'll sell more books. But those reasons are so inauthentic, so dishonest, that I probably write a terrible book. So I have to write for personal reasons, and they often have to do with something that's come up in my life. And because my life somehow seems to be that I'm Chinese, you know, and I have this family who's Chinese, and they came from China, and but it's American at the same time. So those will probably always be two elements in my work. And just to give you an example, I came back from China about a month ago, and I went to Shanghai, and I went to, for the very first time, the island I described in that last reading about Peanut and her fortune. I'd never been to that island before. It's where my grandmother was raped, where she lived, where she gave birth to a son, where she killed herself, all in less than a year. And I never had gone there. I'd heard about this place. And in one sense, it's where my mother grew up from the age of 9 until she married that bad man who was the leftovers that Peanut didn't get, my mother got. So I got to see this place, and it was very much as I imagined, which surprised me. And I got to see the house and actually see the room where my grandmother lived and where she killed herself. And there was such a different emotion that I didn't realize, the sense of the closure. And I know that I need to include that somewhere. How that will come in, I don't know. And the second part of that was realizing I heard something from a family member about my great-grandmother on my father's side. And my family in Shanghai, on the Tan side, they were recounting the blessings of God and the miracles that had happened to the family and how they were saved during the Cultural Revolution or this or that. And they went back to the early days of our great-grandfather, and they said that there was a miracle that happened. And the miracle was the birth of my grandfather, who was born when his father was 81 years old. And everybody thought, this is such a great miracle. And in my mind, I was the only one who had the little thought bubble that said, but who was our great-grandmother? You know, she wasn't 81, she wasn't 71, she wasn't 61, she wasn't 50. And I'm imagining this 20-year-old girl with this 81-year-old man and thinking, this poor woman, you know. I mean, a lot of sexy 81-year-olds out there, I know. But maybe it was unfortunate for him, you know, because anyway. So nobody knew. What was amazing to me is nobody knew who she was. They sort of laughed in an embarrassed way. And I knew right then I needed to think about this woman and who she was and go to the place where she lived and just imagine her story and how she came to be married to a man, and maybe she was delighted to have his son when he was 81. It was proof. Maybe she thought it was a miracle too. But I need to go there and think about that, because some part of her history has come down and become part of mine. I don't know how, but it's there. Maybe I'll be attracted to 81-year-old men. I don't know. Come out, you know, wherever you are.